Does Marla have a kick-ass lady for us?
Yeah.
I do. I've been really looking into lately women's baseball. There's been a bit of a surge in women's baseball news lately, and it all centers around this woman, Sue Parsons Zipay. She was a Rockford Peach. She played for them the last 2 years of their club in 53 and 54. She was born April 1st, 1934 in Hingham, Massachusetts. And she played softball in high school, and it was actually her softball coach from high school who introduced her to the Peaches chaperone, she said. So I don't know exactly who that would be. Maybe just like a recruiter or somebody, like a scout. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like, you know how you have a house mother in sororities to make sure
I think
you
it was more like
behave.
And it was a woman too, so I'm assuming it was like that. And wasn't there a lady that rode with them on the bus in the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I was about to say. That's what it probably was.
Yeah.
Chaperone. But anyway, so the Peaches.
We would not make the Peaches just based on our last story alone.
Oh my, that would be interesting. Anyway, the Peaches were having tryouts 30 minutes from her house. So she went and tried out, and within 2 weeks, she had a contract. She was 18 years old and was right out of high school and had never left Massachusetts, but she packed up, went to Rockford, and she said that she considered herself a good player in high school, but when she got there, she was completely blown away by the level of talent that was there. She was so intimidated by all the other girls that were so good. And the coach, manager, Johnny Rawlings, Tom Hanks, said that you wouldn't be here if you weren't good enough to be here. And so that kind of settled her down, and she got into the swing of things, and she did really well. She went on to, like I said, she played with them for the last 2 years of the club, and then moved to, I think, Florida in like the 80s or something. And she's actually been really big in the tennis world since 1973. She played herself, she taught some pros, organized leagues and tournaments, and she owned a club.
Oh, wow.
Now lives in Florida, and in 1988, all the AAG, PBL, All American Girls Professional Baseball League, PBL, all those women were inducted into Cooperstown, as we know. And then it wasn't until 2007 that her high school inducted her into their athletic hall of fame.
So they were a little bit slow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Get with it, Massachusetts. But anyway, so currently she's 86 years old, and just recently she started a foundation or an organization called American Girls Baseball, and they just a few weeks ago sent out surveys to women's baseball players all throughout the world in the United States, Canada, Cuba, Venezuela, and Japan. And they are essentially measuring interest of if women would be interested in starting a professional women's baseball league in America.
Oh.
So, and her hope is that it launches in 2021 as either a fall or a winter league. And she wants to use the MLB spring training venues because, like, one, minor leagues are not going to be set up for what she has envisioned. And with spring training venues, she said, like, the people in Florida, like the retirees like her, are going to be the perfect, like, audience for this.
Plus, they're all close together, so, like, you don't really have to travel as much.
Yeah.
And it's warm in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, warmer.
So she is working on that. Right now, Japan's the only country that has a pro women's baseball league, and they have won the last 6 women's baseball World Cups, which makes sense because if you're the only country that has a pro league, you're kind of the best. But so she says, her hopes for this, the quote is, "I'd like to see it gain a good, strong foothold before I go to the big diamond in the sky."
Can you imagine being 86 and being like, all right, I'm 86,
I'm gonna
but I'm
change
about
the
to start
world."
this whole ass baseball league real quick, just real fast before I die. Okay?
But how
Oh,
cool is that to be like,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
86,
86.
but
I'm
I got one more thing I want to do before I die, and I am going to get it done.
She's got a goal. She's doing the damn thing. American girls baseball.
Meanwhile, I can't even get my laundry in the washer.
Amen, sis.
It's
like,
hard.
meanwhile, I have no excuse for the dirty dishes in my sink right now, but they're there. But at least I'm self-aware.
But yeah, so I mean, to all our listeners, we know you guys support women in sports, and we know you love baseball. So, give the organization a shout out, WBSC.org, which is the World Baseball Softball Confederation. They did an article on her recently. Like, just start a conversation, tweet about it, talk to people you know that are also interested in sports, and like, get the ball rolling. Don't just sit back and wait for it to happen, because it would be really cool. There are very, very few of the women left who started or even played in the AAG PBL. So it would be really cool to help her get this going before she goes to the big diamond in the sky.
For sure. That is awesome.
That's so adorable.
Yeah, there's really cool like little interviews on YouTube, like 5-minute interviews. She talks about her experience, and it's just really neat. And I just recently ordered, just like a few days ago, I think I'm gonna say her name wrong. Anika Oric, I think, is her name. We tweeted about it from the pod account the other day. She has a book that she just illustrated that came out. It's called like the Amazing Women of the AAG PBL, or the Wonderful Women, or something like that. But I have that ordered, and that should be coming hopefully in the next week or two. And I'm going to read through that, and I'm really excited to see what it talks about, because like even just listening to other podcasts, like with her on the No Crying in Baseball podcast, they did an interview with her, and
That's
she
so
said
awesome.
like, it never put together that like Black women weren't allowed in this league, but the Cuban women were. And like just little things like that, and like the level of talent that they had, and just like everything that went into it beyond what we saw in the movie. I'm really excited to get into the weeds of it.